Hi, this video will be for sleeping position and the different pillows that we can use to help that. So this question is something I get asked almost every day in practice, so I thought I would make this video to try to run through all the factors involved. So the first thing is avoidance of the front sleeping is very, very important. And what I mean by that is obviously laying on your chest, and that means the head is going to be twisted and turned quite far to one side. That's going to just create a lot of neck strain. So let's try to get out of that habit first of all. Now, the next thing we should talk about is side sleeping. So in side sleeping, we need to have the head in a neutral position relative to the torso. And what that means is we're not way over here to one side. So maybe that's too much pillow, right? And also, if it's not enough support, the head's going to be way down over this way as well. So there's a bit of a fine line and we need to select the correct pillow for that. Now, one other consideration we need to make for side sleeping is to make sure the neck actually gets a little bit of support, because the side of the head should touch the pillow, but sometimes the neck is going to want to sink down and create a little bowing down into the shoulder in contact with the mattress. So what we can use for that is something called a cervical roll, and this can go inside the pillow sleeve and create a nice position here, a nice little bit of support on the neck. And failing that, some people really like to use the contoured pillows here. So they have a higher side and then a lower side like this, and obviously it's the higher side here that we want our shoulder to press up against, and this high side actually helps support the neck, and then the head can sit in through here. So resting on something like this, first of all, you can see in my case, initially it fits quite well, the neck feels really supported, the head's in line with the torso, but unfortunately for this pillow, it's going to sink a little bit too much for me. So what I might need to do is simply pop a thinner pillow underneath it for support like this. And now we've got a higher base, and now when I rest into this position, it feels slightly high to start, but after 10 minutes or so, this alignment starts to feel really, really great. The other thing is just learning to actually grab a pillow, and when you're in the side position, just hug into that pillow so that the shoulder, this top shoulder, doesn't roll too far forwards. If you're suffering from some pelvic problems as well, sometimes popping the pillow in between the knees, if your lower back's in bad shape, pillow between the knees can also work really, really well. Now, let's say, for example, you didn't have a contoured pillow or you didn't want to invest in one. Sometimes they can be a little bit expensive. You might want to get the cervical roll like this, and then just pop it inside your pillow sleeve here, like this. And we can place that down, and now it's very, very similar. It's exactly the same thing. We get this nice support underneath the neck, and the head can be in this great aligned position. So basically for side sleeping, you just want to make sure that the pillow height matches your shoulder height, and that you sleep with some sort of a ridge here, whether it's the cervical roll actually inside the pillow sleeve, or you get the contoured pillow and you prop the higher side up against the shoulder. Okay, so let's talk about sleeping on the back. So for most people, a thin pillow will work really, really well here, especially when it's coupled with the cervical roll. And basically the cervical roll can go underneath the back of the neck and can really help support that natural curvature of the neck. As you can see in the spinal model here. So we should have a mid-back curve, and we should have this nice neck curvature. So if you imagine when you're sleeping on the back like this, the cervical pillow can just sit right underneath the cervical spine and offer up a nice bit of support. So what that would look like is we grab the thin pillow here, we chuck in the cervical roll, and basically the roll will be close to the shoulder. And just like that. And a lot of people find this very, very comfortable because it offers that nice neck support. Now, if you're someone with a larger middle back curve, and we call that a kyphosis, And basically it looks more like this. It's more of an exaggerated rounding. Well, when you lay on your back, basically the head won't reach the mattress very easily, so you might need a little bit more support. So what you might need to do to have the ear more over the shoulder and be comfortable is have a slightly higher pillow. And what can work well is maybe two together like this, although this offers maybe a little bit too much support. So what we might do is take the medium pillow here and again pop the cervical roll in there, and that might work really, really well. So just of note here, this is all about trial and error and finding what works best for you. I'll definitely help you in the clinic kind of work this out, but if you've got a deeper middle back curve, really you're going to need a thicker pillow. And most people with the rounded middle back or the kyphosis really do very, very well with the contour pillows for the back sleeping. And you're very lucky if you can just use the one pillow for back sleeping and side sleeping. And for these folks, it's generally going to be someone with a more rounded mid-back. Okay, so you might be someone with a military spine, and that means that the middle back is actually really, really straight, and the neck is actually often straight as well. So we get a loss of normal neck lordosis and a loss of normal mid-back kyphosis. So literally it looks like a bit of a straight rod like this. So when you're sleeping on your back with this type of spine, it's definitely very comfortable to sleep without any pillow support. And sometimes a cervical roll pillow just placed at the back of the neck here can work really, really well for this type of posture. But unfortunately, I found that this particular pillow is just a little bit too high for my posture, and it becomes very uncomfortable after just a short period of time. So I have this military spine, this flat back, and basically what I try to do is take two thin pillows and just prop them into the side of my neck a little bit, the corners of those pillows. So just something like this, I take the corner and I kind of stuff it in here a little bit, and one on the other side, and that actually makes it really comfortable to sleep on my back with this flatter spine. So in summary, I hope the video has shown that it's a little bit tricky to get that pillow height correct, but listen, once you get it, I mean, it just feels so good, and you actually have a great night's sleep without any neck strain, without any headaches. So try to get the side sleeping position well, get yourself a cervical roll, get two different sizes of pillows, maybe a thin one, maybe a medium sized one. If you're someone with a bigger mid-back curve, and that's called a kyphosis, you might like to get a contoured pillow. You might like to get some thicker pillows to support you when you're sleeping on your back. The biggest problem that I see is obviously someone that maybe likes to sleep on their back to start, and then they turn onto their side. Sometimes it's hard when we're in this deep sleep to position everything right, and this can lead to a lot of neck strain. Really, it's unavoidable. It's just going to happen through your life, and when it does, we come into the clinic, we do some treatments, we get the neck right again. And this is a big problem for me because I like to sleep on my back, and then I always, every night, I turn onto my right side, and the majority of the time I get my pillows, I pull them in and get it all fixed up perfectly, and I have a great night's sleep. And then sometimes, a couple of times a year, I don't, and my head rests way down here, and I'm in such a deep sleep I don't wake up, and then the next thing, I'm up in the morning, I've got headaches, I've got a stiff creaked neck, I've got muscular spasms, and I need to go and get that looked at, get an adjustment. So any questions about today's video, pop them in the comments below, and hopefully that answers the question about side sleeping and back sleeping position. Thank you.